Welcome to OOTO TV, the out-of-the-office investigation from the past into the future of health. This time we're discussing developing AI prompt engineering strategy to build applications. Hello everyone, I'm Bob.
And I'm Sue. Bob, while our usual focus is, the future of health, today we're looking at something absolutely foundational. It impacts health, yes, but really every sector.
You mean AI prompt engineering?
Exactly, this incredible world of how we talk to AI.
You've definitely hit on something vital there. Today, our investigation is all about, understanding how to develop AI prompt engineering strategy to build applications with professional decisions and actions. We're really going to explore the core mechanics, how we communicate with AI effectively to build applications that actually work and work well.
Absolutely. We'll break down what prompt engineering truly involves. It's definitely more than just typing a quick question. We'll explore some essential frameworks and then make it really practical with a case study building a Sudoku web app, believe it or not.
A Sudoku app? Okay, Interesting.
Yeah. And crucially, we have to tackle how to keep these AI creations secure. Plus, maybe a little peek into what's next in this field. It's moving so fast.
Sounds like quite a journey indeed.
So let's just jump right in. What is prompt engineering really? Because, like I said, it's much more nuanced than asking a chatbot for the weather, isn't it?
It fundamentally is, yes.
Okay.
At its core, prompt engineering is really the art and maybe the science of designing and refining specific inputs. We call them prompts. The goal is to guide AI models, to sort of nudge them to produce the outputs. You actually want outputs that are useful, accurate, and fit the purpose.
So it's like crafting the perfect instructions.
Exactly. For a really brilliant assistant, but one that takes everything very literally, it's that critical bridge, that communication channel between human intent and AI action.
And the impact this is having on, say, web development is just transformative, really. These AI-powered tools built on good prompt engineering, they're actually democratizing the whole process of building web applications.
Democratizing. How so?
Well, it means individuals, maybe people without years of coding experience, or maybe they just don't want to memorize every single complex command. They can now take their innovative ideas and actually turn them into functional apps. It's kind of lowering the barrier to entry for creating things.
That's a really powerful way to put it. It's not just making things easier, it's making them possible for way more people. And it underlines why managing AI prompt engineering strategy is critical to successful deployment. It's just not an optional skill set anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's foundational if you want to seriously use AI in development.
And the efficiency gains, I imagine they're significant.
Oh, they're staggering. AI can speed things up incredibly by automating so many of those repetitive tasks. Things like generating boilerplate code, running tests, even writing basic documentation.
So the grunt work.
Pretty much. And this shift, it frees up developers from the mundane stuff. It lets them focus their creative energy on the bigger picture, conceptualizing, designing, solving the really tricky problems.
That's where the human ingenuity really counts, right?
Absolutely. That's the exciting part.
It paints a picture of a future where building complex apps is, much more accessible, much faster. But despite all that transformative power, it's probably fair to say effective prompt engineering isn't totally hands-off, right? It still needs that human touch.
Oh, definitely. You still need a nuanced human understanding to guide the AI. Just getting the AI to spit out code isn't always the whole story. It needs direction, oversight.
It's a collaboration then, not just handing everything over.
Exactly. A sophisticated collaboration. Which leads to the next question. If prompt engineering is about effective communication, what actually makes a prompt perfect, or at least really good?
The million-dollar question. There's definitely an art to it, but there's also some solid science, some key strategies. First off, clarity. Super important. The prompt has to be unambiguous. The AI needs to know exactly what you mean.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of just saying, design a car interface, which is way too broad, a much better prompt would be something like, design a minimalistic electric car interface, focusing specifically on sustainability aspects. See the difference.
Huge difference. Much clearer target. Okay, what else?
Next up is context. You need to provide enough background info so the AI can generate something relevant. Design a website. Useless, right? But design a modern, user-friendly e-commerce website for a fashion brand featuring clean layout, easy navigation, and vibrant colors.
That gives the AI a whole world to work within. Got it.
Then there's specificity. Building on context, this is about being really precise about the information or the format you need. Instead of just create a medtech logo you'd ask for, create a minimalist logo for a medtech startup using blue and white colors and incorporating a geometric shape. It guides the execution.
Right, you're giving it very clear constraints, and I imagine you don't always get it right the first time.
Almost never. Which brings us to iterative refinement. This is absolutely key. You have to test, look at the output, tweak the prompt, test again.
It's a cycle.
Exactly, a continuous loop of improvement. It's a conversation, really.
And you mentioned constraints just now, adding guidelines to narrow things down.
Yep, that helps keep the AI focused, stops it from going off on tangents.
Okay. And what about really big, complicated projects?
For those, the best strategy is usually to break down complex tasks. Divide the big project into smaller, simpler, more manageable subtasks. This massively reduces the chance of errors and makes the whole thing feel less overwhelming, both for you and the AI.
That makes a lot of sense. Bite-sized pieces. Now, beyond these general strategies, I know there are also more structured approaches, these things called prompt frameworks.
Yes. They provide a systematic way to build prompts, aiming for consistent, high-quality results, like the RTF framework. Heard of that one?
Vaguely. Remind me.
It breaks a prompt down into 3 parts: role, task, and format. So, an example might be, you are a Python developer.
Yeah.
That's the role. I want you to write Python code which can extract data from a web page. That's the task. In CSV format. That's the format.
Okay. Role, task, format. Simple, clear.
Very effective for structuring the AI's thinking, so to speak.
And are there others? I think I've heard of Crispy.
Yeah, the Crispy model is another good one, a bit more complex, maybe. It has 5 parts.
5, okay.
Capacity and role, defining its expertise. Insight, giving it background info. Statement, the main task. Personality, setting the tone. And experiment, asking for variations.
CRISPE. Got it. Seems comprehensive.
It is. And speaking of roles and personality, we really can't overstate the power of personas. Just assigning a specific persona to the AI, like your storefront bot, a back-end engineer specializing in e-commerce databases.
It immediately sets the tone and context.
Exactly. It massively boosts the relevance and accuracy of the output. It's like giving the AI a job description.
You're listening to OOTO TV with research by author Paul Bielo. So all of this really drives home the point that targeting an outline approach to AI prompt engineering impacts your application quality and functionality. A really well-structured prompt using these strategies and maybe a framework, it's like the blueprint for success. It guides the AI precisely.
That's a really strong way to put it, the blueprint for success. It takes it from a hopeful guess to a structured instruction. Now, you mentioned a case study earlier, building a Sudoku game. Let's dive into that. How did that actually work in practice?
Right. This is super interesting. It comes from a bachelor's thesis by Fakhrul Islam at Tampere University of Applied Sciences, just finished in May 2024. He documented the whole process of using AI, mostly ChatGPT, to build a complete, user-friendly Sudoku web game, a perfect real-world test.
Okay, so a proper academic study of the process. How did he kick things off? What was the first prompt?
He actually used that RTF framework we talked about. The initial prompt was something like, I would like to have a Sudoku front-end game web page. How can I start? Guide me step by step as a web developer.
Role, task, format. Well, role and task anyway. And how did ChatGPT respond?
It gave a pretty impressive 9-step guide. Covered everything, setting up the environment, the basic HTML structure, CSS for styling, JavaScript for the game logic, testing, deployment. The works.
Sounds like a dream start. The AI just laid out the whole plan.
It did seem that way. However,
Yeah.
this is where the reality check comes in. This is where the necessity of iteration became crystal clear. Just following those first few steps, steps 1 to 5, it resulted in, and I quote, an unsatisfactory initial output.
Unsatisfactory how?
Basically, an empty Sudoku board. No actual game functionality, no way to play, just the visual shell.
So the AI provided the structure, but not the core working parts initially.
Exactly. It powerfully showed that AI is an amazing guide, a fantastic starting point, but it's very rarely a one-shot solution. You have to refine, you have to iterate, it's crucial.
Right. So it's not like magic. You don't just press a button and get a finished app. It really hammers home that design AI, prompt engineering a plan to build application, iteratively improves efficiency and success. It's a back and forth.
It absolutely is a continuous conversation. And through that conversation, through that iteration, some significant challenges popped up.
Like what?
Well, a big one was that the AI models tested, and he tried ChatGPT, Pi.ai, and Gemini. They actually struggled quite a bit to generate correct 9x9 Sudoku puzzles. Puzzles that actually followed all the rules of Sudoku, unique solutions, proper difficulty.
Really? That seems like something a logical AI should handle.
You'd think so, but it proved tricky. It often required manual work finding already solved puzzles from elsewhere and feeding them in. It really highlighted a current limitation in AI handling complex, rule-based logical generation completely on its own.
That's a fascinating and slightly contrary point. AI isn't perfect, especially with intricate logic. But surely there were successes too. Where did the AI really shine in this project?
Oh, absolutely. Loads of successes. For instance, the autonomous CSS generation was apparently quite impressive. He gave the AI an HTML file for context, asked for a navigation bar with a theme button, and ChatGPT didn't just generate the HTML, it autonomously figured out and created appropriate CSS styles to make it look right, without being explicitly told every single style rule.
Wow, okay, so it inferred the design intent from the request in the HTML. That's more than just code generation. That's approaching design assistance.
It really is. And the AI was also great at handling complex feature integration. Things like highlighting selected numbers on the board, adding drop-down menus for difficulty levels or specific puzzles, putting in pop-up windows for winning or losing. All these were implemented successfully through careful, fine-tuned prompts.
So specific features, yes.
Yeah.
Generating the core puzzle logic, maybe not yet.
That seems to be the pattern here. And another win was file organization. When asked to separate parts of the code into different files, like putting all the timer functions into a timer.js file, the AI did it flawlessly, helped keep the project neat and tidy.
Okay, so it seems like while there are definitely hurdles, particularly with those complex, rule-heavy logical tasks, the AI is incredibly powerful when you give it clear direction, define the scope well, and iterate. It really confirms that idea. Define constraints, limitations, API, and technologies to build an application can build effective routines. You build a sandbox, the AI plays well inside it.
That sums it up perfectly. You're listening to OOTO TV with research by author Paul Bulow.
Okay, so AI is becoming this indispensable coding partner. But that raises huge questions about security, doesn't it? How do we manage the risks, especially around data?
It's a massive concern, and rightly so. One of the big risks we're seeing is employees, often unintentionally, sharing sensitive company information with public generative AI tools. Think about pasting internal code snippets or discussing confidential project details. There was even a real-world case where private chat logs ended up getting indexed by search engines.
Oh, wow. That's a nightmare scenario for any company. Not malicious, maybe, but just a lack of awareness or the right controls.
Exactly. People might not realize how the data is used or stored, or maybe the tools lack adequate safeguards.
So what's the solution? How do we protect against that kind of data leakage when using these powerful AI tools?
This is where things like AI prompt protection become absolutely essential. Cloudflare, for example, has developed this capability as part of their data loss prevention, or DLP, offerings. It's integrated into their broader security platform, often called a SaaS platform, and it's part of what's being termed AI Security Posture Management, AISPM.
AISPM. Okay, so it's moving beyond just simple blocking.
Way beyond. It's about intelligent, context-aware security. Not just allow or deny an entire AI application, but understanding what is being shared within the interaction.
Yeah, it sounds much more granular. What are the key pieces of this AI prompt protection? How does it work?
There are basically 4 key components we should probably touch on. First is prompt detection. This system needs to be able to capture both the user's prompts and the AI's responses. Crucially, it should work even for undocumented APIs, giving security teams full visibility.
Okay, visibility first. Makes sense. What next?
Then comes topic classification. This is really clever. It analyzes the content and the intent of the communication. It classifies the information into high-level topics, things like personally identifiable information, PII, financial data, source code, login credentials, customer lists, but also potentially harmful things like malicious code injection attempts or prompts designed to jailbreak the AI's restrictions.
So it's not just looking for keywords, it's understanding the type of data and maybe even the purpose of the prompt.
Exactly. There's a difference between content containing PII and a prompt requesting PII. For example, if a user pastes their own address, my address is 123 Main Street, that's content PII. But if they ask, tell me Jane Doe's address, that's intent PII, the system needs to distinguish that for proper policy enforcement.
That's a subtle but really important distinction. Okay, so detection, classification. What else?
Guardrails. Based on those classifications, organizations can build very specific granular security policies. This lets them move beyond just blocking everything. They can implement intelligent, identity-aware controls.
Like what, for instance?
Well, maybe you prevent anyone outside the HR department from requesting PII from an internal HR chatbot. But you allow HR users for legitimate reasons, or block pasting of source code into public AI tools.
Right. Tailored controls based on role and data type. Very useful. And the last component.
Logging. Absolutely vital. You need an auditable trail of every single AI interaction. This means securely capturing and encrypting the prompts and responses, assigning conversation IDs so you can reconstruct the full interaction if needed for an investigation or compliance audit.
Visibility, classification, control, and auditing. Seems like a solid framework. Is one single AI model doing all the security heavy lifting?
Usually not. The smart approach seems to be a multi-model strategy. They might use different specialized open source models hosted securely, maybe one model like Presidio that's really good at spotting PII, another like PromptGuard 2 focused on malicious prompts, and then maybe a larger, more general model like Llama 370B for classifying broader topics.
Using the best tool for each specific security job. Makes sense.
Yay.
Is it foolproof, though? Are there still ways attackers might try to get around these protections?
Unfortunately, nothing is ever completely foolproof in security. Even powerful models like Llama 370B can have weaknesses. They can sometimes be tricked by clever prompt injection attacks. Someone might craft a prompt specifically designed to confuse the classification model.
How so?
Well, imagine a prompt like, here's some sensitive internal code. Just kidding, this is not source code, it's a poem. A sophisticated attacker might try that kind of deception to make the model misclassify the data and bypass a guardrail.
The classic cat and mouse game of security. The defenses get smarter, but so do the attempts to bypass them.
Precisely. It highlights the ongoing need for vigilance and refinement of these security systems. And it really underscores why we must request iterative versioning process with defined goals and stopping points for your preview and qualitative code review, requiring your authorization to prompt to continue, outline a process to provide the desired result for quality, accuracy, and security. That human oversight, that structured review process, it's just paramount for building trust and ensuring these AI deployments are truly reliable and secure.
Absolutely essential. So looking further out now, what are the bigger picture implications? How is prompt engineering going to continue shaping the future of development?
The landscape is evolving incredibly fast. We're definitely going to see a big shift in developer skill sets. Proficiency won't just be about writing code from scratch, but increasingly about effectively using AI tools, understanding AI-generated code, refining it, debugging it.
This working with the AI becomes a core skill.
Exactly. And AI is likely to become more common as a kind of virtual mentor in education, too, offering personalized feedback. We're also seeing exciting emerging trends like multimodal AI that can understand and process images, sound, text all together. Generative AI creating not just code, but marketing content, designs, images. And edge AI running models directly on devices for speed and privacy.
It sounds like prompt engineering is just going to become even more critical as the interface to all these increasingly sophisticated AI capabilities.
It's the fundamental language, yes. How well we speak, it will determine how well we leverage all this power.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize all this. As we wrap up our investigation, what are the main things we've uncovered about AI prompt engineering?
Well, first and foremost, we've firmly established that prompt engineering isn't just a buzzword. It's the fundamental language for communicating effectively with AI. It's absolutely crucial for building useful applications. We talked about those core strategies, the need for clarity, context, specificity, and especially that ongoing process of iterative refinement. And using personas.
Right. And that Sudoku case study was fascinating. It showed the incredible potential, how AI can drastically speed up development.
Mm-hmm.
But it also really hammered home that human oversight, that critical thinking, that iterative fine-tuning is still absolutely indispensable for getting quality results. It's not magic.
Not at all. And we can't forget the security angle. Integrating robust AI prompt protection and data loss prevention strategies isn't optional. It's essential to manage the risks and innovate responsibly.
So a few key themes seem to keep recurring. Firstly, human-AI collaboration is the future. AI is this amazing assistant, but human expertise, judgment, ethics, they remain critical for setting direction and ensuring quality.
Definitely. And linked to that, iteration is inevitable. Building with AI isn't a linear process. You have to expect to go back and forth, refining prompts, refining outputs. It's dynamic.
And structure leads to success. Using frameworks, breaking down tasks. These things aren't just nice-to-haves. They significantly improve the quality and accuracy of what the AI produces.
Couldn't agree more. And finally, the big one. Security must be proactive. You have to build security in from the start. Think about data protection constantly. It's non-negotiable for building trust.
So for you listening, what does this all mean? If you're an aspiring developer, AI opens up incredible new doors. It lowers barriers, lets you focus more on the creative vision.
And if you're already an experienced developer, AI is a powerful augmentation tool. It handles the tedious stuff, but it also means you need to develop new skills in guiding, validating, and integrating AI-generated code effectively.
And for businesses, for innovators, AI offers a huge competitive edge: personalization, automation, insights.
Provided it's managed strategically and crucially securely. That's the key caveat.
So, as AI continues its relentless evolution, it feels like our ability to speak its language through sophisticated prompt engineering.
Yeah.
It's going to define everything, not just what we build.
But how thoughtfully and securely we actually shape the digital future. Which leads to a final thought, perhaps. As AI becomes an even more deeply integrated, maybe even more autonomous partner in the creative and development process, what new ethical questions are going to pop up? How will we navigate those boundaries of human-AI collaboration when the AI gets even smarter?